Hi there, welcome to kneppyinvests. In this June Quarter Appendix 4C video, I'm going to take a look at a company called CVCheck. Formed in 2004, this company listed on the ASX in 2015. And ever since it listed on the ASX, we've seen a slight improvement of this company on a quarter-on-quarter basis. It actually reminds me of M&F Group back when they were called Just My Net Phone, around about 8-10 years ago. When that company was releasing Appendix 4Cs, we just saw this continual growth in their receipts quarter on quarter by a very small amount. But it paid off because that company became profitable, cash flow positive, and then they didn't have to issue any Appendix 4Cs. And I believe their market cap could be something like $300 million right now. It does look like CVCheck, when you look at their cash receipts growth, it was slowly going up quarter on quarter until the most recent quarter, the June quarter. And we'll have a look at that in a few slides. Before we get there, just a few facts in regards to this company. CVCheck is all about verification and secure sharing of personal and professional information. So you can get companies checking your CV, you can get police checks. So this company is used by individuals and businesses. Ticker code CV1. The market cap $75 million at 18 cents. And receipts for the financial year 21 based off their Appendix 4C June quarter, $17 million. This company is operational cash flow positive, $1.5 million for the financial year. When you do have a look at the annual recurring revenue at 13.3 million and growing at a good rate quarter on quarter, so it's up 19.8% from March. Compare that to the market cap, there is a possible suggestions that there is a bit of value here because market cap's only about 5 times annual recurring revenue, or just above 5 times anyway, and almost 6 in fact. But when you do look at that number, 5 to 6 times annual recurring revenue, not all that expensive for a company that is actually growing their annual recurring revenue. If you do want more information on this company, I will state it again in this video, but I'll state it every video in fact. Just go to their website because a company's website is one of the best ways you can get information on a company. Otherwise, go to any presentation they've issued in the past 6 months or even a year, or just go to their Appendix 4C that they released on the 29th of July 2021. Before we have a look at the June quarter results, I just want to go back to see how this company was performing in the March quarter. And there actually is a big difference between the two. So for the March quarter, receipts from customers at 3.6 million. And we have been seeing that consistently rise quarter on quarter. We'll have a look at that receipts history in 2 slides' time. And CVCheck was slightly operational cash flow positive by $140,000. They did do a capital raising during the quarter. That's a $10 million capital raising, which grew the cash on hand from 5.2 million to 14.8 million. Now, they did do an acquisition. Because of that acquisition, we have seen the receipts from customers grow quite a bit during the June quarter. So let's have a look at the June quarter and see if they have seen any operating leverage in the business. And if they have seen receipts grow by a fair bit, hopefully with that operating leverage, they've seen the operating cash flow grow by a large amount as well. Has that happened? Well, let's have a look now. Receipts did grow for the June quarter by about $2.7 million. That was because of the acquisition. And there was also some organic growth as well. The one thing I'm looking for here is receipts growing quicker than the costs. So a bit of operating leverage in the business. We did see the company be a little bit more operating cash flow positive, but not a lot. So costs were growing by a fair bit as well, particularly staff costs, up from 1.1 or 1.2 million to 2.7 million. So that's an increase in staff costs by 1.5 million. They also spent $2.3 million on the acquisition. So the cash on hand by the end of the quarter was down to 12.9 million. I would have preferred to see a little bit more operating leverage here with that increase in receipts from customers. I would have liked to see this company a little bit more operating cash flow positive. Maybe we'll see that in the September quarter. The market didn't really react to this quarter's results with any excitement, and we'll have a look at the chart in a few slides' time. So that's the one thing I'll be looking for in this company, a bit more operating leverage, particularly with those cash receipts increasing over the past quarter. CVCheck did list on the ASX in 2015, so we do have history of their customer receipts going all the way back to the September quarter 2015. When this company listed on the ASX, there was a lot of hype initially in this company. We'll have a look at the chart in the next slide. You can see massive rise in the share price, and then that hype died down, and we saw the share price fall away over the next 2 years, which is the complete opposite to what we see in the receipts. In fact, over the first 2 years on the ASX, receipts were continually climbing quarter on quarter. That's why I'm reminded of M&F Group when I look at that receipts history over the first about 3 years of this company's history on the ASX. But during 2018 to 2020, even now, receipts stopped growing, a non-existent growth in the receipts. You can see the March quarter 2018, 3.2 million, and the last quarter, the March quarter 2021, 3.6 million. So a very small increase in receipts, but nothing too extreme. You'll want to see receipts growing a little bit more than that until we see the latest June quarter, and it's just rocketed up from 3.6 million to 6.3 million, mostly because of the acquisition, but there has been some organic growth in there as well. What I want to see in the future for this company, particularly over the next few quarters, is to see this receipts back to a growth pattern. And that would lead to the market becoming a little bit more excited in this company, potentially a new uptrend in the share price. That's the sort of thing I want to look for in CVCheck for me to get a bit more interested in this company. As we pay our attention to the weekly chart for CVCheck, I just want to include the entire history of this company just so we can see the hype in CVCheck when they listed initially on the ASX at 20 cents. The next 4 weeks, we saw the share price increase from that 20 cents to a top of 75 cents. That's a nice little return for those who bought in on the IPO, and hopefully anyone who did that sold near the top. It's always hard to know when the share price is nearing a top, because then the share price fell from that 75 cents to a zone between 5 and 7.5 cents in about 18 months. The share price just kept on falling. So that's the hype going out of this business. And this is the reason why I very rarely buy into an IPO in the first few months. I do like to wait for some financial news from the company and for that initial hype to die away. Whenever the share price of CVCheck gets between about 5 and 7.5 cents, that seems to be a good zone to buy into this company if you do like the future. We have seen on occasion the share price go on a bit of a run. We saw that in 2019 for about an 8-month period. Share price 5-bag between 5 and 25 cents. It seems like any single time the share price gets above around about, we'll say 15 to 17.5 cents, that could be a possibility of the share price getting a bit toppish and maybe a time to sell. It does look like there is a potential we might be seeing an uptrend, but I would prefer to see a confirmation of uptrend with positive financial news and increase in volume. We haven't really seen that increase in volume over the past 3 or 4 months. Volume has been fairly low or fairly average for this company. The main thing I'll be waiting for in the future with CVCheck is good financial performance, and hopefully that coincides with the share price moving into a new uptrend. That's the 2 things I'll be waiting for in CVCheck. I have about 15 to 16 more standalone videos to do before I move into the group videos to fulfill my mission on covering every single company that achieves an operational cash flow positive June quarter. It does look like I will be achieving that mission because not many more videos to do, and I definitely will be able to fulfill that mission within the next month and a half before we see the September quarter Appendix 4Cs being issued, and we're definitely not going to have that mission in the next quarter. So look out for videos on these 4 companies in the next week or so. Image Resources, Pointera, Tesseract, and Fluence. So quite a few of those companies are quite popular among viewers of this channel and retail investors on the ASX, particularly Pointera and Tesseract. Fair bit of interest in Fluence as well. I'm interested in that company, just as I'm interested in Pointera and Tesseract, because I am a shareholder in those two companies. And I might be the only one interested in image resources. And I'll tell you why I'm interested in that company when I do that video. So look out for that, which should be released not long after I release this video. So potentially, if you're watching this video, I might have already released that image resources video. So have a look out for that. That's all I have for this June Quarter Appendix 4C video for CVCheck. If you do know a lot about this company, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about the future of CVCheck. So leave it in the comment section of this video. I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.